Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Women Like Me. I am Julie Fairhurst, and I'm here with the lovely Theresa. Now, Theresa, you pronounce your last name Wah? I
Wah.
did it, Theresa Wah. I got it. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Theresa is one of our fabulous writers, and she wrote in the very first book. So she's like my founding writer. So she wrote in this book, Women Like Me, the very first one, and it's a celebration of courage and triumphs. So I'm so excited that Theresa is here, even though we're books ahead, but she's willing to come here and talk to us about the story that she wrote. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about Theresa, and then we're going to jump into her very interesting story. She's got quite an interesting story. So she was born in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and she was put up for adoption at a very, very young age. And she was involved growing up in a lot of sports activities, including professional springboard diving, which was her favorite. But it all changed in the blink of an eye. And that's all I'm going to say, because we're going to talk more about her story. So she has worked as a hairdresser, and she did go back to school a few years ago and got her instructor's license. And Theresa at the moment is looking at opening her own school. So I'm so proud of her. I'm just women empowerment. It just excites me. So I can't wait to watch and see where Theresa goes. So Theresa, thank you so much for agreeing to be here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie. I am so happy that you did ask me to do this. You know, if we can help at least one or two or even 50,000 women, you know, get the courage to love themselves and do changes for themselves and have the courage and the strength.
Yeah. So why did you write your story then? Was it that the reason why, or what twigged you to do it?
I think for one, it's to heal. If you get it out there, you talk about it, you deal with it, you go straight on and, you know, look at it, acknowledge it, you can heal from it. If you're trying to push it down and not deal with it and not talk about it, then it controls you. So it was a healing point. And then if I could help somebody else that maybe is going through the same thing or similar, that was the second thing.
So did you feel then while you wrote your story that you did do some healing? Was it help? Oh, good.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it's all about. Let's make ourselves better and healthier mentally, physically. So that's good. Yay. Yes. Well, Theresa in the book is located in chapter 8, and the title of her story is Love and Family Never Stop Learning. So, Theresa, I just want to touch on a couple of little spots here about your story, because you had a great childhood. Yeah. Like, I read this and you had some fun. You were going to Shuswap Lake at the cabin, you spending your summers there. Lots of friends. You lived in Saanich, British Columbia, which is a beautiful area to grow up in. Just you say there were acres of forest in your backyard, just beautiful stuff. And one of the things you said is our mother would pack our lunches for us in brown paper bags, and we would venture out into the forest and onto our neighbor's farm, riding their cows and staying out until darkness fell and the street lights came on.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
Why can't kids do that anymore? I don't understand what the issue is.
Have you ever ridden a cow?
I have ridden a cow and Shetland pony. Yes, and big horses. Yeah.
Well, I don't think the neighbors really knew what we were doing, but we had fun no matter what.
Of course not.
Good fun.
Yes, exactly. But just, I mean, that was freedom, right? Yeah. And like, here's your lunch. As soon as it gets dark, you had to come home for dinner, right? Yeah. Oh. then you go on to say that as the years went by, your older sister, because you had two older sisters, right? Your older sister reached the age of 14 and she left home and she never came back.
Yeah.
And I didn't know and I didn't understand why she was gone. That must have been really confusing.
It was
She just up
very
and
weird.
goes. And so
Yeah.
she didn't talk to you about the fact that she was leaving, or?
No, and then our parents didn't talk about it either. There wasn't a lot of communication.
Mhm.
You did what you were supposed to do, went to school, came home, did your chores,
Yeah,
had dinner, cleaned up, washed, went to bed.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Huh. Well, then, because even then in the next paragraph, you say, when my second sister turned 14, she also left home, never to be heard from again. I mean, so two sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you say that your parents kept you busy. And when you were 13, you were in swimming, track and field. You were a professional springboard diver, and you had the opportunity to compete in the Commonwealth Games for springboard diving, achieving 8th place.
Yeah.
Bravo. I mean, that's some pretty self-esteem building, some good achievements happening for such a young lady.
I loved the water. So
Yeah.
it was the
Oh,
perfect thing for me to do.
yeah.
It kept me out of trouble.
Yeah, there you go. Kept you out of trouble. So then, but then life changes and you're in school and you're asked to go to the principal's office. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, they said that there was a telephone call for me. So I went to the front office and I picked up the phone, and lo and behold, it was my oldest sister on the other line.
So how many years would this have been, do you think?
I'm going to say 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you hadn't heard anything from her?
Nothing.
Wow.
So you could
Wow.
imagine my emotion was, yeah, I want to see you. And she said she was down the road half a block. And for me, if I wanted to go live with her, at that age, you're not thinking. You just
Right.
want to see your older sister.
Yes.
I took my bag out of my locker and I was going down the road, going to see my sister.
Wow.
Got
Wow.
in the car and off we went. I didn't, you don't think about the consequences or of your actions at that age.
Right. Of
You
course you
just,
don't.
you want your sisters back. You want that connection. So I
And
really,
yeah, you're just flying. You're right. You're just flying by your emotions.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. And so what happened when you got in the car?
we
Did you
drove.
punch her and say, where the heck have you been? Like, what's going on? Or
Yeah, she explained why she left, and that she had gone to live with our birth mother, and that the people that I was with were my adoptive parents, that it wasn't actually my birth mother or birth father. And I never knew that. So it was,
so you're pulled out of school from your sister, who you haven't seen for 3 years. She just disappears.
yeah,
And then she proceeds to tell you that your parents aren't really your parents.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was confusing, but I think just the point of me having my sister back was the most important thing.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then we were going to go see my other sister. So
So
just
both of your sisters at 14, where they went was to your mom, your birth mom.
yeah,
And you'd never met your birth mom. You didn't even know you were adopted.
no,
Wow. That's shocking.
yes,
Yeah. Well, not shocking so much that you didn't know, because I think a lot of people are not told until maybe a little later in life, but just like how the whole thing happened, right? And just, yeah.
the way that they were able, I think, to keep in contact was in the adoption. I didn't know my grandmother and grandfather from my birth mother stated in the adoption that they were allowed to come every year for visiting. So
Oh,
we had these grandparents come out every summer to visit for a week, but they were my birth mother's mom and dad.
who did you think they were when they were coming?
just grandma and grandpa. We didn't know which parent.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
That was
so
definitely a lot of confusion.
that's how my sisters went back to my birth.
Ah, and so you're in the car, and where are you going? I know you're going to your birth mom, but where does she live? Where were you?
Saskatchewan,
Was it
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan,
Moose Jaw?
a little tiny town.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Wow. And so were you concerned about your adopted parents at all?
it
I mean,
was.
I know you were 13 and you're just
Yeah.
like, but
I think my main thing was I was hurt because I didn't know what was going on. Why didn't they tell me I was adopted? Why they didn't tell me
oh, yeah,
they were
yeah,
not my birth parents.
yeah,
So I was angry,
yeah,
but I was more happy that I had my sisters.
yeah, 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 for
That
sure.
that outweighed my decision.
Yeah, you did at one point phone her, right? Did you phone her when you arrived at your birth mother's?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was an awkward conversation.
I bet. I
But
bet.
I think they understood,
Mm-hmm.
and they just said the door is always open.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was up to me to open that door, they said. Yeah.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation like yours, but I would suspect that that's a positive way for them to leave it if you
Yeah.
ever want us, we're here.
I do appreciate what they did for me and my siblings. And
Yes.
we did have a good life. They did
Yeah.
treat us well and take care of us, and
Yeah.
were loving people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Aw. Okay. So so this was a completely different life from the springboard in the Commonwealth Games girl.
Yeah.
This is now very different than what you had to deal with. So you write here, my birth mother was poor and in receipt of forms of income assistance. She did not work. Things were stretched that we had to ask before even taking anything from the fridge.
That was shocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. Why can't I just go in the fridge and have a glass of milk? Well, maybe that glass of milk is going to last for 2 meals,
Right.
making craft dinner or making something else.
Right.
So it was a shock.
Yes. Yes. And how was your mom? You don't really say too much in there, but was she did she talk about the adoption? Did she welcome you back?
Yeah, she was happy. She was
Yeah.
loving. She didn't
Oh,
really express too many things about why we had been taken away.
yeah.
It was actually her mother that made her give us up.
Okay.
So my grandmother.
Yeah. The one that came to visit.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my mother wasn't very motherly.
Mm.
She was more about herself and what she could get out of things. So
Okay.
I think even us being there with her was, it's sad to say, but a paycheck.
Well, there's more mouths to feed, and
Yeah.
that's no, for sure.
So,
Yes. Oh,
unfortunately, yeah. So
yeah.
we really didn't do any family things or
No, off to the lake
no.
for the summer. I can't believe the shift in your life.
Yeah. It was a
That.
fend for yourself.
Yeah. But to
Yeah.
come from that stable,
Yeah.
but the good thing is that's where you got your grounding.
Yeah.
And we never really lose our grounding. We might kind of screw up in life or shuffle around or get a little crazy, but if we've come from a good grounding, that will always help us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Thank
definitely came from a good grounding. So
Yeah.
yeah. So then though you get a boyfriend
Mm.
and you find out that you're pregnant at 16.
Yeah. We had moved to Vancouver and I was going to school and I met this guy and yeah, because I didn't have that really loving, nurturing, secure household that
Yeah.
I just strayed. But I do have him, my beautiful son. He's
Yeah.
31 now, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're a grandma too.
and I'm a grandmother of 3 now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So there's
Yeah,
a reason for everything, even though I was
absolutely.
young and
Yeah.
silly, I was
Yeah.
blessed with him. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So then you end up meeting a fellow that you
Yeah.
thought was quite like, oh la la.
Very charming, very
Yeah.
charming. Yeah.
Yes. And you say that he worked at a gas station, a family gas station, was it?
Yeah,
And
they
that,
had,
and so you made sure that you went to that gas station almost daily.
yes.
Hey,
Till this day, he still tells the story of me going there to get gas.
Yeah. My husband's grandparents have just recently passed on the last couple of years. They were married 73 years, and she jumped on her bike, and his dad had a gas station, and she had heard about this new guy in town, and she talks about going down on her bike to scope him out, to
Yeah.
see what he's all about. And when I read your story, I thought, oh my God, that's just like Rob's grandparents.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then I had red hair and that was it. He's got to see this beautiful red hair and pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
Yeah,
And
so he definitely caught my eye.
yeah. And so you say in here that at the time I was young and foolish. I didn't understand what he meant when he said he wanted my heart and mind. And it was the first red flag that I ignored. So what did he mean by your heart and mind?
So the reason why I say that is because one, I was young and I wasn't experienced. And when somebody gets control of your mind, they get control of you.
Right.
So he didn't want me to have my own thoughts, my own emotions, my own feelings. He wanted to control everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I responded, you can have my heart, but you can't have my mind.
You do say that. Smart girl, even at a young and foolish age, you were a smart girl. And so you say here that you were only 17 and he was 23 and he was happy with your son, and you got married. And then you had a few children over the years. Yeah. And then, so what country was he from? Because he was from is it a Middle Eastern country?
Yeah, he was born in Kuwait, from Palestine. His whole family was from Palestine, but because there's no more Palestine,
right?
They had to relocate. So they went to Lebanon. So all the Palestinians that had to relocate, majority of them went to Lebanon. So he was raised in Lebanon, and then he went to Dubai for a bit selling dresses, and then he told his father he wanted to come to Vancouver. So he came to Vancouver. He had an uncle here in Vancouver, so that's how I met him.
Oh, perfect. And at one time, so through your relationship, as I think is with most of that Middle Eastern culture, the families are very tight knit. So it ended up that you had, was it 3 children at the time?
I had 3 children with him, yes.
Yeah. So you had your 3 children and your son. So that's 4 in the house. And then his mom and dad and siblings came?
Yeah. We sponsored his mom and dad. And then we also got his brothers, 2 brothers. One was older than him, one was younger than him. Yeah. And they came as well. So we were
were they married? Did they have wives or?
His older brother was married and had 5 children, but she didn't come with him. She couldn't come with him. no.
Okay,
So,
okay. So, and you say that you sold your family home, not yours, but your family home with your husband, because now you've got all this extended family that you're living with.
well, before they came, we had our original house. We
Yeah.
kept one, and then we bought another one that would fit everybody.
Ah,
So this was
gotcha.
in Fleetwood, and
Okay.
we still have it till today.
Oh,
It's a 9 bedroom with a 2 bedroom side suite. So
wow.
everyone had some space.
Yeah, that's good. You well, and yeah, I mean, that's if you're, when your family comes in, also when they come, they don't typically come with bags of cash. So
No.
there's support that needs to be done. And it's, I mean, I gotta say that I do think that they do have, you know, I admire their tightness, and they
Yes.
jump in together and support each other financially, and
Yeah.
with helping each other grow in the community. That's my understanding. I see a lot of that with that culture. So, but then you found it just too much.
It was.
Yeah, just too
One,
much.
yeah, I was happy, but I was also stressed at the same time because uh, it's a culture shock. So
Yes.
even though you love this person and you want to be with this person, you have the whole family living with you, telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, um, a lot of rules and regulations, and
Right.
it took a toll on me.
I bet. And so you did ask your husband if you could, if you guys, if you and your little family could just, go and have your own house,
Yeah,
but that's not how it works.
no, no,
Yeah.
they come as a package deal.
Yeah.
until the younger brother, he eventually moved out and got married and had his
Yeah.
own family, and
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's, yeah. So, what do you think the hardest thing was in that?
uh, I think the cultural differences. So when you start dating or are involved with another culture, do a lot of research. Not all five fingers are the same. Not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Some can be adjustable to Canadian culture, some can't.
Yeah.
He couldn't really adjust that much to Canadian culture. For years I heard, I'm not Canadian, I'm not Canadian, I won't
Mm,
live like Canadian. Well, what is Canadian? It's
right.
if you have family support and love and respect, and it doesn't matter where you're from or what
Right.
country you are.
Right.
But yeah, so
Mm,
that was a
yeah.
toll.
That would be hard. That would definitely be hard. Yes. And so then, there was, like lots of Canadian couples, there was divorce, and things didn't go as planned, but you're friends.
Yes, we are friends now. It took a while to get there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, I
Yes.
would
Yeah.
say he's my best friend.
Aw.
Yeah.
And so together, like you talk about 7 children. So because he had other children.
He remarried after our divorce,
Okay.
and she was Lebanese. So
Okay.
um, I think because then he could feel more the culture the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so he married again, and then she eventually didn't like the whole family living together as well.
Okay.
And she
Yes.
actually wanted the same thing, her own house. And he said no. So yeah, I guess she just up and left as well. But she took
Yes.
her 3 children that she had with him with
Oh,
her. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, so you say here that, and then afterwards you talk about your kids and about um, that they're your backbones and they're the ones who saved you mentally and physically. So what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What were they
So
saving you from?
um crashing. I think,
Mm,
yeah, they gave me the strength to just keep going,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
to do better for myself, for them.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
then seeing them and doing stuff with them, it also made me strong.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I didn't want to go back into old times, old ways before I had met him,
Yes.
drinking a lot, going out a lot, and
Yeah.
it kept me busy and
Yes.
structured. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and they actually encouraged me to go back to school and, keep doing better things for myself.
That's so nice to hear that you've had that support from them.
Yeah.
And you say here that you learned to say no.
Yes. If I find that I'm doing too much or being pulled too many different ways,
Yeah.
you got to say no.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
I know, like, I'm a people pleaser and I like to help everyone, but
Yeah.
if I'm empty, it's not going to help me and it's not going to help you. So,
Yeah, that just made, to me, we like, obviously fathers are important as well, of course, but we, I believe, are the caregivers, we're the nurturers. But if we're not healthy,
yeah,
we can't pass that down. Like, if we're just running around cleaning and doing things for everybody else and nothing for ourselves, we're going to crash and burn.
yes,
For sure. And I always think, well, what are you really showing your kids?
no, it's not good. Yeah.
No, we have to take care of ourselves. And then, especially because it's nice for our daughters to be able to see that, oh, we are valued, even, no matter what we're doing. And that we are, our needs and wants matter too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And work as a team.
Yes.
Right? So
yes. Exactly.
it's not just all put on one person. If you do this and I do this and somebody else does that, then we can all get things done and we can all enjoy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you also say in here, sort of at the end of your book, you say most of all, you've learned the value of setting boundaries.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't really have boundaries before, or?
No. The ex-husband would say jump and I would say how high.
Right. Right.
So now if I'm, busy and doing my own thing and he calls and he's, frustrated or yelling or screaming, I don't have to listen to this anymore. Thanks. Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say the best part of the telephone is the hang up. The best part. Bye. Call me when
I'll give it a couple of hours and then I'll call back. Are you okay now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got such a positive spirit, Theresa, and I know there's a lot more to your story than what we've sort of touched on here. So, but I appreciated you writing, and it was it was just so good. I wanted to ask you too. So, how have others reacted to your story?
My one daughter read it and she cried.
Oh, yeah.
Other kids that have read it, they said, good for you. We're very proud of you. So
yeah. Oh, it's yeah, I think that something I've learned through this process is that family members don't really know, because everybody's busy with their own stuff and their own lives, especially teens and young adults. They got their own stuff going on. And I have learned that through this process that there's been a lot of families who said, I didn't know, I didn't understand. I'm proud of you for writing your story. And,
what you have to realize, even though you want to tell your story, you also have that thing inside saying, oh, what is this person going to think? What is that person going to think? You have to do it for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I've had ladies who agree to join, and then they go, you know what, I can't do this.
And in time, maybe they'll come back and
and that's what I say, no judgment. You need to do what's right for you. If you absolutely no pressure. If you are not feeling like this is for you, then by all means, it's not for you right now. Yeah. You have to be at a certain place to be able to share things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
people need to realize also, you're not trying to bash somebody, and you're not trying to put
right,
somebody down.
right.
You're telling your story, what you went through, what you're feeling. You need
Yes.
to heal.
Yes, yeah. So my last question for you is going to be, what lesson did you want the reader to take from reading your story? I know you only touched on the surface of what your story is, but what, if someone was reading reading the book, what lesson do you want them to take away from that?
I'm going to say education. Because when I got married, I didn't have an education. So get your education, and it's never too late to have an education.
No.
I went to hairdressing school after I divorced. That was my first step. I went 6 years ago or 5 years ago back to VCC and got my PIDP. You got to keep learning.
Yeah.
That's where your strength is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, Theresa, oh my goodness, thank you so much, love, for being willing to come and do this, and for being one of my founding writers in the first book.
I wanted to say to you, Julie, I'm very thankful to have you, and for you doing this for all these women. It really helps them. It really does.
Oh, well, thank you, Theresa.
Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate hearing that. So, well, thank you so much. Okay, love. Well, we will talk again soon. But oh, and by the way, Theresa's bio will be in the description below, and so that information will be there if you wanted to have a read of that, as well as to what Theresa has been up to. So thanks again, Theresa.
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.